Hey everyone, today I'm going to share with you my top 10 most current used foundations, my 10 favorites as of January 2022. Before we go any further, I should say if you are new, hi, my name is Marnie. I am 48 years old, I'll be 49 at the end of March, and I'm telling you this so you can understand my skin type. It's definitely maturing, at least the outside of me is. I have dry skin, it is sensitive, it is reactive, and it is often dehydrated because I never drink enough liquid, but I'm working on that for this year. I do prefer to apply my foundation with a brush 99.9% of the time, and the brush that I reach for over all others is the BK Beauty 106. I prefer this because it's a smaller size. I have a kind of pea-sized head. It's slightly domed, it's dense, so it can really stipple it in there, but also blend out beautifully. And it is a multitasker brush. I use this to blend in my concealer. I use it to blend out my contour. I used it to apply my cream blush and cream highlighter today. So there's so much you can do with this brush. I absolutely love it. If I am using a more heavy consistency type foundation, almost like a cream foundation, but still in the liquid form, I will use a damp, must be damp, beauty sponge. And the one that I always use these days is from e.l.f. It's $3. It's this one, the Camo Concealer Sponge, and I love it because it's meant to be used with concealer, so it has a nice point on each side, so it can really get into the nooks and crannies around your eyes and your nose and get all the things. All right, let's get started with the drugstore ones, and the big standout has to be this one. This is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. It is, I think they're all of the ones I'm going to talk about are 1 fluid ounce. The lowest price is $11.35 at Walmart. It's $15.99 at Ulta. It comes in 30 shades. I wear it in the shade 15 Rose Ivory. If I'm being very honest with myself, I'm probably more shade 10 Ivory. As I swatch these throughout the video, you're going to see that inevitably I am leaning towards shades that are too yellow or too dark for me. But I do like to have my foundation help me warm up a little bit. This obviously comes in a plastic squeeze tube, which is great for travel. I do bring this with me a lot for travel. And I love that the nozzle is very, very thin. I accidentally squeezed it, a little's coming out there. So I can regulate exactly how much of the product that I want to come out. This does have SPF. It is SPF of 50, which is really nice. But I personally would recommend never relying on your foundation or any kind of face makeup to double as your SPF. I personally strongly believe you should use a separate standalone SPF as the last step in your skincare routine and then move on to your complexion products. The finish is listed as natural/radiant. I would say this is definitely more on the radiant side. It gives a nice glowing look to the skin. So on that end, it's definitely great for dry skin, normal skin, maybe all the way up to combo. I really can't speak to how any of these foundations are going to look on oily skin because I've never had oily skin. So if any of you watching do have the oily skin type, please let us know in the comments how any of these foundations happen to work for you. That would be really helpful for all of us that are watching. Key ingredients for this one: vitamin B3 helps with hydration, as well as a hydrating serum. Don't know what specifically is in that. This does also have niacinamide and aloe leaf juice powder. Standout features: this is specifically formulated for mature skin. While that does not mean that only mature skinned people can wear this, it does mean that it takes into account more common issues that mature skin has. Specifically, we more often deal with dry skin, and we're also a little more aware of having foundations settle into fine lines and wrinkles that don't exist on 20-something-year-old skin. So if you have dry skin or you have texture and you're not, say, over 40, this is still a fabulous foundation. This is marketed as suitable for all skin types, sensitive skin, and that it's not supposed to settle into fine lines or wrinkles. I reach for this for everyday kind of wear. I mean, it's suitable, all of these are suitable for a special occasion, of course, but because of the price point and how easy it is to apply, this is definitely an everyday type of foundation. It's not too glowy, it's not too much. It's just a very natural, fresh look to the skin. Before we move on, let me swatch it for you and you'll see what I mean when I tell you I reach for the wrong shade foundation. I'm gonna put it all the way here. That's too dark and it's too yellow, but I don't care. It still works when I wear it. And I will admit that the skin on my underarms is significantly paler than the rest of me. Number 2 is another L'Oreal foundation. This may throw you off because it is not in the original packaging. We'll get to that in a moment. This is the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. Note the word foundation is not in it. It is $14.97 at Walmart and $19.99 at Ulta. It comes in 14 shades. I wear it in the shade Very Light, which is the shade range is 0.5 to 2, so quite a shade range. The container type, the original container is a glass bottle with a pipette type dispenser. It's a mess. It was a disaster. So I immediately decanted it into an airless pump. If you're interested in this, I'll list this down in the description box under the L'Oreal serum. This does not have any SPF, and the finish is described as luminous / radiant. The coverage is light to medium. You can definitely build this up a bit, and I forgot to mention that this one is more of a medium coverage. Can be sheared out a little bit, but definitely towards the medium side. This is recommended for all skin types. Definitely, I'm comfortable recommending it from dry all the way through combo. And the key ingredient in this one is 1% hyaluronic serum, which helps to hydrate or assist it really in hydrating the skin. Couple of standout features on this one. It is fragrance free. I know for some people, fragrance can be a real issue. It can be at times for me. And it is advertised as suitable for sensitive skin. This is one of the newest foundations that I have recently acquired, so I haven't reached for it as often, but it quickly became a favorite. It leaves a beautiful, gorgeous finish to the skin, and it's incredibly lightweight. So I recommend this to people who are really sensitive to feeling makeup on their skin. You're gonna love this because you won't feel it at all. It's also great when your skin is a little bit textured. It looks beautiful in photographs. I recently had my face lasered, and as I had rough scales and bumps and patches, I wore this on Instagram stories, no filter, and people were commenting on how beautiful my skin looked. It's this foundation. So even if you have textured skin, but you still want a luminous look to your foundation, give this one a go. It works really well with not perfect skin. And let me shake this up and do a little bit of a swatch for you, and you will see that this one is probably the best shade match because it just disappeared. You can't even see it. This is an absolute perfect shade match for me. It is right there. You can't even see it. It's gorgeous. Next, we have the Flower Beauty Light Illusion All Day Wear Foundation. This is $14 at Walmart, $14.29 at Ulta, and $14 at Flower Beauty. And I will say Flower Beauty's website has sales all the time. So if you want to pick this up at a discount, I would say stock the Flower Beauty website. This comes in 15 shades. I wear the shade L1 in the winter. Comes in a really nice solid glass bottle with a pump. It does have an SPF of 18. The finish is definitely luminous, and it is, I'd say, medium to almost full coverage if you want to build this up. Again, I recommend it for dry all the way through combo skin. I'm not saying you can't wear this if you have oily skin. I just have no personal knowledge of it, so I don't want to say, sure, go ahead and grab it. There are no standout key ingredients in this. It's pretty basic foundation ingredient list. One of the standout features, if this is important to you, is that it is cruelty-free. And I reach for this, yes, on an everyday basis. Granted, I tend to wear more makeup than most people I know in real life, but this is especially great for special occasions. And I find it to be pretty long wearing. So when I've gone to a few blogger, influencer conferences over the years, I've actually brought this along with me to wear it, and it just looks beautiful and it photographs beautifully. I will say, because I have fair skin, I'm not as concerned with flashback because you can't get much paler than this. And here it is swatch. Now remember, I'm not blending this into my skin, so it would look a little bit different once it's blended into my actual face. But there it is. Still in drugstore. This one I discovered, I'd say late spring, early summer, and this is Uoma by Sharon C. Not to be confused with the Uoma beauty brand. It's the same owner, but this is their drugstore line. It's the Uoma by Sharon C. Let me read this one, it's long. IRL Skin Perfecting Foundation. It comes in 30 shades with 6 custom formulas depending on which shade range you're in. Let me explain the shade range concept. So they lump the shades in on the shade spectrum. So the very lightest set of shades I think are called White Pearl. And then the next second to lightest shades are called Fair Lady. They correlate to the general shade range. And for each of those 6 shade ranges, they assume that that group of skin tones has a specific issue that it's going to address. I will say I do have an issue with that you're assuming that everyone that has the same skin color has the same skin issues, because there's plenty of people who are in, that I know, we wear the same exact shade, but they have oily skin. And I know that the Fair Lady line focuses on moisturizing, which might not work if you have oily skin. This is $14.98 at Walmart, $15 even on the Uoma Beauty website. Like I said, 30 shades with 6 custom formulas depending on which shade you're in. I wear the shade Fair Lady T1. It comes in a really nice frosted glass bottle with a pump. There is no SPF, and the finish is definitely natural. And this is one that I do recommend all skin types, dry through oily, because it is a little on the drier side than my other foundations. So I usually only wear this now in the summer. I find that my skin is too dry in the cooler months to wear this. The coverage is light to medium. It's definitely buildable. The key ingredients really depend on which shade range you're in, because they add and change things throughout. So I would say look to see what formula you're in, and then decide if that's gonna work for your particular skin type. The standout features, this is very lightweight on the skin. It is marketed as a combo foundation. Like, I gotta read this. Serum, moisturizer, and beauty balm, like a huge multitasker. I do not feel that this is in any way, at least this formula or the shade, moisturizing. So again, I am not a big fan of multitasking makeup products. I'm a big fan of multitasking brushes, but not makeup packages. So it's 100% vegan and cruelty-free. I reach for it really only in the summer months or the more humid times of year. It is a beautiful, more natural to satin finish. There it is. Really good shade match there. So that's Fair Lady T1. This last drugstore foundation, I'm not gonna talk too much about, because in my research, I found that it's discontinued. So I'm only highlighting this if you happen to already have this in your collection, or you do catch it somewhere, snatch it up because it's going away. And this is the Vichy Dermafinish Corrective Fluid Foundation, 16-hour color wear, and has a broad spectrum SPF of 30. I wear it in the shade Opal 15. There are possibly only 4 shades. It's hard to tell because it's gone off all the websites. Comes in a plastic tube, just a squeezy tube with just a flat opening on the top. It is a semi-matte finish. It is great for all skin types. I don't know about key ingredients because, again, all the marketing is gone. This is definitely full coverage, special occasion type makeup. It lasts 16 hours. It is definitely water resistant. I reach for this on days when I know I'm gonna be outside, but it's a special occasion, like maybe it's an outdoor party in the height of summer and I want flawless coverage and I don't want it to budge. This is the kind of foundation that I would reach for. If my skin isn't looking particularly good, maybe it's a little more textured, really dry, this covers that all up. This is very similar to like a Derma Blend type foundation, but it's a little more lightweight. And this is one of the few that I do apply with the damp sponge. So I do have a replacement for this that we will be talking about momentarily, but I will use every last drop of this one because it is really, really a special foundation. Next to the Uoma Beauty, right there. You can see as they dry down, they're blending in a little bit better. All right, let's jump over to mid-range, which really means these are more the department store level foundations found at, Ulta, Nordstrom. So the first one, in no particular order really, is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. It is $40 across the board, whether you get it at Nordstrom or Ulta or even the Too Faced website. You get it all 3 places, same price, which I like. I have it in the shade Pearl, which is totally the wrong shade for me. There are 35 shades, by the way. I think it's more likely that I am Swan or Porcelain. This is far too dark for me. So it's right there. It is very yellow, but I like a little yellow undertone to kind of warm up my face. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, comes in a glass bottle with a pump, as you just saw. No SPF. The finish is listed as Radiant Natural. It's definitely more on the natural side. I would almost say satin. There is a matte version of this foundation. I personally have never tried it. I'm not one for matte foundation. As someone with dry skin, I don't see the point. The coverage is medium to full. They say that it is great for all skin types, and I think it probably is because it's not overly luminous or radiant or dewy by any means. Key ingredients. There's some interesting ingredients in this. I want to read these to make sure I get them correctly. And what's interesting is this foundation has been around for a good amount of time, and the ingredients that are in there are still kind of hot topic, trendy ingredients, and Too Faced was a little bit ahead of the curve. There's coconut water, hyaluronic acid, and that was before hyaluronic acid was a big thing, and alpine rose. The standout features are it is oil-free and it is long-wearing. It's not listed as a long-wear foundation, but it's definitely long-wearing. I reach for it personally more on going out type occasions, especially in the evening since my shade match isn't great. So if it's gonna be dark out, no one can tell that it's really not matching me well. And it is more full coverage, so I don't reach for it as much for an everyday foundation. If I'm running to the grocery store and just living my normal, regular off-camera life, I find this is better for more special occasion type wear. But speaking of special occasion, number 7 is the Wander Beauty Nude Illusion Foundation. It is $40 at Nordstrom, $40 at Skin Store, $40 at Wander Beauty. There are 12 shades. I have it in the shade Fair Light. Again, I should probably be wearing the shade Fair. It is a really unique container. So this is a squeezy bottle. That part's not unique. The unique part is the way you dispense it. It is a very large doe foot applicator, which may freak some people out. Some people don't want to repeatedly touch this to their skin. They're worried about hygiene. I've been using these bottles for years. I've never connected a breakout to using this. It does have a really wide opening though, so if you would prefer to just squeeze some out on the back of your hand or onto a palette, you can do that as well. There's no SPF. This finish is definitely on the radiant side. It is a little wetter, so I'm gonna dab that in a little bit. So there it is, swatched. Actually, it looks pretty good in this light, so I mean, I wear it. If I'm wearing in the dead of winter, I'm not gonna wear it with like a V-neck shirt because it's gonna be a little obvious. Where is it? It's all the way on the end there. Let me put my arm down. The coverage is medium to full. You can definitely build it up. I'd say it's great for dry all the way to combo skin types because of the luminosity, probably not oily. Key ingredients include lotus extract and niacinamide, which I love. It has excellent coverage. I will say the packaging is both frustrating and one of the things I like about it. Frustrating only because when you pull the doe foot applicator out, you can get some splatter. But I also love that you can determine how much you want to get out and pinpoint exactly where you want the product. I reach for this. Now, I personally will wear something like this every day because I'm me, but if you're looking for a beautiful foundation for special occasions, I would definitely recommend this. The finish is flawless. And again, this is another one that I have worn to many special occasion type events and influencer conferences. We are at number 8, and while this is on my top 10 list, I rarely talk about it. This is an interesting name. It's called the Tarte Foundcealer. The full name is Babassu Foundcealer Skincare Foundation. Babassu is one of the key ingredients. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. It is $39 at Tarte. It is $39 at Ulta. I wear it in the shade 13N, which is fair neutral. It's the second lightest shade, but there are 30 shades to choose from. The packaging is very unique and I really enjoy it. It's a heavy duty plastic bottle with a swivel up top. Watch this. And then you have the pump there. SPF 20. The finish is natural to radiant, sort of in the middle there. I would say medium to full coverage. Now this has some interesting ingredients I want to read to you. Babassu, which sunflower seed and hyaluronic acid. Standout features include, and I'm not saying that the other products don't have some of these features, but in their marketing, they made a big deal that it's free of paraben, formaldehyde, phthalates, mineral oil, and triclosan, and that it's vegan, cruelty, and gluten-free. It does contain essential fatty acids and antioxidants, and it does say like it's a multi-moisturizer, concealer, foundation, and SPF in one, and I've already told you how I feel about that. I reach for this when I want some definite higher coverage, but I still want something that's kind of gentle on my skin. Maybe I'm having an off day and I don't want to do like a serious, like the Vichy one, like maybe I'm just having some breakouts or whatever. So I want something a little more gentle. And as you can see, that is the second to lightest shade. That's not very light. I can't speak to the rest of the shade range, but the light shades in Tarte leave something to be desired. And then the last of the mid-range, so to speak, foundations is probably what I think is going to replace my Vichy, and it's much easier to use. I have the sort of deluxe sample size of the Face Atelier Ultra Foundation Pro. It is, depending on the size, so this is not really a sample size, it's more just like the smaller size, which is 0.68 fluid ounces. It's $37 at Amazon, $38 at a website called Camera Ready Cosmetics. The full-size version is $55 on Amazon and $58 at Camera Ready Cosmetics. Even on the Face Atelier website, conflicting numbers as far as shades go. Some say 18, and then in another paragraph it says 20. I'm gonna go with 18, and also 6 color adjusters. So aside from the 18 to 20 skin tones, there are 6 other formulas or shades you can buy that are either add warmth, add like it's orange colored, or adds more brown or more white, things like that. So you could play with it. This line is designed for professional makeup artists. I think the average consumer would be a little overwhelmed by trying to customize their foundation. I have it in the shade Wheat, which is my summer shade, because when I was introduced to this, it was the summertime. There is no SPF in this. It is a natural satin type finish. It is buildable. You can get it all the way from sheer to full coverage. It just depends how you wear it. I should say the packaging, whether you buy the smaller size or the full size, both come with pumps. It is great for all skin types, all ages, all skin tones. It's pretty amazing. It has a unique silicone blend that basically allows it to be very flexible, so it doesn't settle into fine lines, doesn't cling to texture, and it wears a really long time. It is unofficially waterproof. The CEO wore it to go scuba diving underwater for an hour, still a flawless face. It is lightweight, oil-free, heat-resistant, water-resistant. I should also say that they market this as has a built-in primer and self-setting, does not need to be powdered. And I think it is also great for mixing in with SPF or moisturizer to make a tinted SPF or a tinted moisturizer. So this is going to replace my Vichy because it's easier to wear and it just has so many uses. So I can wear this for every day. I also wore this in my Gigi New York photo shoot. It's been recommended a ton by Lisa J Makeup. She used to use it on brides, so it's fabulous. I would say the only con is it is hard to get. It ships from Canada, so even if you wanted to order a sample for just $1, it's another $11 or $12 for shipping. So I would say if you're not confident in your shade, get onto their website and find a store locator near you. That might be the best way to go. And then lastly, I have one official luxury favorite to share with you. This should come as no surprise. It is the La Mer Soft Fluid Focus Foundation. It is not inexpensive. It is $135 at Nordstrom, at La Mer, at Blue Mercury, at Saks, at like every high-end retailer carries it. There are 28 shades. I wear it in the shade 120 Ivory. It comes with a nice frosted glass bottle and a pretty middle pump. It has an SPF of 20. I would say the finish on this one is more natural to satin. It is light to medium in coverage. It's definitely buildable. And there it is right there at the end. As far as skin type, I'm gonna say it's great for all skin types, but only really mature skin. I know so many people 40 and over who have used this and absolutely love it. And then I know the same amount of people who are 30 something and younger who have tried this and didn't see anything special about it. I do feel that over 40 skin just looks different and has different needs than younger skin. And I don't see the point in spending $135 on something that is specifically formulated not for you. There's plenty of other more affordable options that will look beautiful on you. But if this is in your budget and if you are over 40 and you're really only maybe buying one foundation that you're gonna use every day, I say give this one a go. And if you're really concerned about it, go get a sample at Nordstrom or Sephora or anywhere that carries it and give it a try. And I think you'll be really surprised. The key ingredient they say is the miracle broth. I am not a big fan of having skincare in my foundation. I don't even think it's gonna actually get to my skin under all the layers of all the other stuff, the SPF, the moisturizer, the serums, and all those things. So I'm not gonna depend on my foundation to give me any kind of skincare. This is long wearing, it is natural looking, it does give you a flawless look, but you can still see your real skin underneath. I feel like as the day goes on, it wears even better. It's hydrating. I will say their celebrity makeup artist for La Mer is Patrick Ta, so if he loves it, just saying. If I wasn't a YouTuber and part of my job is to continuously try foundations and other makeup, I'd probably only have this and maybe one other foundation. I just love it. The bonus foundation that I'm just sharing today, it's not in my favorites yet because this is literally the first time I have put it on my face from the full bottle, is the La Prairie Skin Caviar Foundation. I am wearing it in the shade Creme Pêche. My initial impression is, wow, this is beautiful. If I haven't already put up the video, I'll link it once it goes up, but I will have a separate video far more in-depth showing application and farther along impressions. I'm gonna film that after this video. I'll let you know all about that one. But today, these are the 10 most used current favorite foundations for my mature, dry, sensitive, and reactive skin. I would love to hear from you if any of these are on your favorites list, or if you have similar skin type and finish and coverage preferences that's not listed on here, let me know what I need to try out. On my list for 2022, of course, is the new Charlotte Tilbury foundation that was just released, but everybody and their best friend is already reviewing it, so I'm gonna give it some time to settle in, and then I will go out and review it. Plus, I really wanna take some time to enjoy the most expensive foundation I've ever bought in my entire life, which is on my face right now. I hope this was helpful for you in your search for the perfect foundation. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. Thanks for hanging out today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!